Yeah, spot on. I thought the way the Indian seamers especially showed us as a South African fast bowling attack how to bowl speaks a lot of volume for the way that they bowled this series. The pace that they bowled, the consistency that they bowled, the skill that they showed, outclassed us as a fast bowling attack. There's learning for us in that when we play in the subcontinent, that our style of bowling is not successful. You have to adapt your style to the style that is required. Obviously, someone like Dale Steyn was effective in subcontinent conditions because he does have similar skill set. He's a skiddy bowler off the pitch, hits the stumps. Whereas if you're missing the stumps a lot or you're bouncing it over the stumps, it's not as effective here. So, yeah, seam bowling was one area, but I thought spin, they were better than us. From a batting unit, exceptional ruthlessness in the way that they put massive scores on the board. And that's one of the reasons why mentally we were probably so weak towards the end. It's just the relentless ruthlessness in the way that they put big totals on the board every time. They did bat first every time, which made it a little bit easier, but they still put on 500, 600. And the scoreboard pressure that the effect that it has on you mentally as a batting lineup, it takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot of toll, and that's why you could see towards the end our batting lineup was mentally weak. You don't want to be mentally weak. Obviously, you try as hard as you can, but the ruthlessness of them right through this series, you just feel like there's no opportunity or no moment in the game when you can hide. It's like constantly your body is tired, your mind is tired, and then you make mistakes. That's what makes them such a powerful team, is their ruthlessness right now. So that's where we were falling short of the batting. Obviously the first test, Dean and Quinny played great knocks, but after that, a lot of 50s, a lot of starts, and they didn't have that. They had huge scores. And also from a fielding point of view, once again, it's tough to say, but they outfielded us. The energy that they showed, complete team performance, and we were outplayed in all of them. Well, Brexit will be one thing that will stop, obviously, the cold pack players. So that, yes, that would benefit South African cricket tremendous amounts. I don't know if maybe they'll find a loophole around it by saying we'll have another overseas player that will be allowed to play in county cricket, which still means that players would go and play there. It will just be under a different name tag, because the opportunities are there for players in the domestic circuit in England. There's a lot of South African players playing there at the moment. Obviously, from a financial point of view, the pound is stronger than the rand, so that will always be a concern for us. But the lesser of those things that there are for players to go overseas, obviously that will be much beneficial for cricket in South Africa, because at the moment we're losing our experience in international cricket, but we're also losing our experience in domestic cricket. Your top players domestically are going overseas. Your guys that get left out of the South African team, they go overseas. So you're missing out on all your best players into a talent pool that is all of a sudden a lot smaller. So that's something that we've tried to identify to stop, but it's been very difficult to stop. Yeah, that's what this tour makes. When you go through extreme hardships like this, in the hardships you'll still find guys that are up for Test cricket, and that's why they call it Test cricket, because it's the hardest format of everything. So you need to be so strong mentally to be at this level for a long period of time. Obviously, you get great players, but they will come in and out if they're not strong enough mentally. So for me, our next journey now is trying to make sure that we get a lot stronger as a cricketing team mentally. So if there's work that needs to be done in that department, then so be it. As you can see, a tour like this reveals that there's a lot of mental scars that can happen, and then obviously it's difficult to come out of that hole. We played our best match in the first match, and the consistent pressure that was on us made us weaker every test match that we played. So therefore it tells me that we're not mentally strong enough as a team, and that some work is required in that department. Yeah, I think the same thing applies with this team. If you look, it's a very, very young team. And how I see my journey unfolding with this team is to to help that transition period. That's something we spoke about before that wasn't necessarily the case. You know, Graham Smith was a successful captain for a very long time. And then after them, there was like, okay, what now? Who's going to captain the side? What's going to happen? So this period is as I said, trying to make that process a little bit smoother, identifying the next leaders, identifying the next captains, working with them. And then when that time's right, then that time will be right. But for the time being, it's just about that process unfolding right now. As I said, it's a very young team. It's a very young leadership group. So for right now, yes.